All right, boys, TGIF. Thank goodness it is Friday, January 9th, 2026. I've already twice today I wrote down 2025 when in fact it is the year of our Lord, 2026. And I am Addy, and I am ready to do an amazing stream tonight. I am ready to just rock it and just full-fledged into the new year. Not that this is the first stream of the year, but I'm ready to actually just impress every single one of you watching right now, which I know is a small number of you right now, but I'm ready to do it. I am ready to work hard to win your approval. All right, so as always, just let me go ahead and send out the stream like I like to. Wait a minute, what's this? And of course, I got to do this off stream because I don't trust you people. So I'm going to I got to send the link to a few people like my friend Nick. I always send it to him. Of course, I'm going to send it to my friend Robbie, my friend Johnny Gators. Is there anybody else on text? I mean, if you listen long enough, then you know that I do this at the beginning of every stream, and you should probably know who I send the text to. Matthew is in the house. He says, impress me. Well, Matthew, you had mentioned earlier in Discord that I should share the link with your mother. So you give me her phone number, give me her Instagram, give me her OnlyFans, and I will be happy to send her the link. All right, so let's see. Who else am I? Is there anybody else that I am forgetting on text? I don't think so. So, of course, let me switch over to Instagram, send it to I got to send it to our North Star. Basically the reason why we do a show. Let me find her. There she is. How am I going to be able to do this without, all right, let me just send her the link. As always, I like to imagine that she is already in the channel, that she's already here watching. And then there, of course, she is, our Francesca Estevez. I have sent her the link, and I am hoping she will join the chat room soon. Who else should I send it? I'm going to send it to, I'm going to send this link to a person I've never sent it to before. I'm curious to see if they join. I'll send it to my friend Stefan, who I don't know if he's going to join or not. He probably won't. I'm going to send it to this person as well. I'm going to send it. I'm kind of going all out, sending it to a bunch of people on Instagram for whatever reason. All right, I'm going to send it to that person. Where is Razman? I need to find Razman's name. There he is. There's Razman, the Singleton man. And then, okay, is there anybody else? Okay, so actually in Discord earlier today, I typed out like a to-do list, right? Like a to-do list of things to do before the show or before the stream. So, okay, so post a link on YouTube. I should do that. All right, let me go ahead and do that. And the only way I'm going to get this done is if I do it live with you guys. So, okay, so let's just go to posts. And then we are live. Join us now. And then let me post a link. Now, again, every little post, every little thing that I put into the ether, I was going to say the Ethernet, into the ether, I am hoping brings in more viewers. Okay, so that's that. And then also on I got to pin this. Can I pin this message? How do I pin this message on Discord? I know there's a way to pin messages, but apparently I cannot. Oh, wait, there it is. Pin message. Perfect. Okay, and then Twitter. All right, so I figure I should post a link to the show when the show is starting. So let's go ahead and do this. We are streaming live now. And of course, you got to use the plural. You got to use the plural. You don't want to say I am, because people are going to be like, who's this loser? Why do I want to watch this loser? But if you use the plural, the first person plural, then people are going to be like, oh, okay. And then they come over and they watch your stream and they see it's one person and they leave immediately. Excuse me. All right. So YouTube, Twitter, Jote, okay, send a link to people on text, which I did, and then send a link to people on Instagram, which I have done. All right, so I have completed my to-do list, and then let me check. Did somebody respond? All right, so what is this? Okay, aún me falta. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Y por qué me estás diciendo que tú aún me falta? I'm not even sure what that means. So somebody sent me a message that says aún me falta. So aún means still, right? Oh, I know what they're saying. So aún means still, like as in I'm still trying to figure out what this message means. Me means me, right? And falta means to be lacking. So I'm still lacking. Joke Spot says, is this Unleashed? Yes. This is Addy Unleash, unfiltered, raw. We're raw dogging it tonight on the stream. That's how we roll. We're raw dogging it. All right, so let's just pick up right where we left off. I'm kind of hoping that Oculision, I'm really hoping Oculision joins the stream. But then again, I don't know what's happening in Iran. Like, is there still? Oh my God, no! I said news. Is there still an internet blackout in Iran? Of course, the front page is Minneapolis, Minnesota, Minneapolis. I don't care. I really don't care anymore. Okay, so 54 minutes ago, anti-government protests spread. Vehicles burn 49 minutes ago. Let's go to Twitter. Oh, I was going to say let's go to Twitter and look at that, but that could be a dangerous proposition, right? Like, because Twitter is unleashed. Twitter is unfiltered. So I'm gonna look for some Iranian stories like off stream. Wait, but isn't there a setting where you can actually say like no? Okay, no, I'm not gonna bother with that. Okay, so. This is what's happening in Iran right now. Breaking 1 hour ago, brave Iranians are now openly taking to the streets with the true flag of Iran, the lion and the sun, rising up against the Islamic regime. Share this everywhere. Free Iran. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a like, which means I will be banned from Iran forever. If I try to set foot in that country, I will probably be beheaded. All right, let me scroll down. Actually, I'm going to click on latest. Again, I don't want to do this like live on stream. I mean, we're raw dogging it, but we're not raw. But like, it's not like we're raw dogging in an intimate fashion. We're not raw dogging like with a professional, if you get my drift, right? So we are going to raw dog it responsibly. That actually should be kind of the motto of my stream is like Addy goes live, responsible raw dogging. Like that doesn't sound terrible. I kind of like it. All right, so let's see what else we have here. We have, this is one of the videos we have before, this is one of the videos that we have before the internet and landlines. Oh, we have before landlines were cut. So I guess the phones are still cut. I mean, this is like really recent. Yes. So people in Iran are on the streets risking their lives for freedom against the murderous regime. They need the world's support, not silence. Why are you staying quiet? Now, of course, they're linking CBS News, CNN, Fox News, and BBC World. Let's kind of do an audit like we did last night, where we go to each website to kind of see like how much Iranian coverage. Now, I promise you, the first three, CBS, CNN, and Fox News, it's going to be nothing but Minneapolis, because the media is really, really hoping for fires and car burnings in Minnesota because that brings in the views. So again, like I think part of the reason that the media has become so terrible is because they want to sensationalize everything. And even to some extent, if they can, they want to create news stories. Like if the media could create mass riots and mass destruction in Minnesota, they would, because that would make them more money. So anyway, let's check out. So CBS News, I bet CBS News is, well, let's just see. We're going to go to each website as linked. Oh, it's not CBS, it's CBC. So the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. All right. So I had a little bit of dyslexia going on. I swear to God that said CBS, but whatever. CBC News. Okay, so even in Canada, Minneapolis, it's all about Minnesota. Look, the first like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories are all about Minneapolis. Okay, so anything about Iran? Is there U.S. seizes Caribbean? So apparently, like you wouldn't know Canada was a country if you went to the CBC's website, because Canada is mentioned once. Here we go. Down, like you have to scroll down, and here's finally a story where even Canada is mentioned. All right, so we got that flu surge, Freeland. What Freeland? I want to live in Freeland. I want to go to Freeland. All right, so Muskrock. Okay, let's just do what we did, and we're going to do Iran. Okay, so we did actually get a story about 35% of the way down, and this is from 3 hours ago. Ayatollah state media rail against terrorist agents amid Iran protests. So that is actually a very interesting way to label the story, right? Because it makes no mention of like that these are people who basically want freedom, right? Like there's no mention that basically what I'm getting at is like there's been a lot like the stories I have seen are kind of on the side of the protesters, right? They're all kind of like taking the side of the protesters who want freedom, who want a new government, who want like they want an open society, blah 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 blah. Whereas this framing is very much on the side that like the protesters doing this are bad, are like it's just an interesting framing. So let's see, and then we scroll down a little bit more. Okay, so now we have some featured video. Iran throttles internet, threatens death penalty over anti-regime protests. Well, I'm sure that's going to go well. And then, of course, even further down, Iran demonstrations against regime continue as Ayatollah state media rail against terrorist agents. So that's the same headline as up above, pretty much. Yeah, so this is interesting. The Iran throttles internet, threatens death penalty. So that doesn't actually paint the ruling regime in too good of a light. So, all right, so that's CBC. So let's move. I think I probably said CBS a couple of times, but sorry. All right, so let's go on to CNN. Let's see what now. CNN. Before I even click on the tab, CNN is 100% going to be all about Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota, Tim Walz, JD Vance, Trump. It's going to be nothing but Minnesota. Let's oh wait, we got to go actually to the website. All right, let's go to the website and let's see. Now, before I open it up, do we even think that CNN is going to make any mention of Iran at all? I need to put some I'm not really feeling this like slow jazz kind of background. So we're just going to go to some like, yeah, this is good. Yeah, this will do. Okay, so let's look at CNN's website and see if they have any mention of Iran. All right, so of course, Minnesota, ICE, Minnesota. I don't know what this is. CNN's Harry Enton may have found a cure for America's loneliness epidemic. I also have a cure for that. It's about $300 an hour, but Venezuela, ICE. Okay, the son of Iran's last Shah is rallying protesters, but do Iranians really want another king? Okay, I will give CNN some credit because it's like, remember last night, right? Like it is actually moved up in terms of relevance on the website. So I'm actually pretty impressed by CNN here that Iran is not buried, that the story is not buried near the bottom. But let's see how many mentions of Iran we actually have. I tried to do Control F, thank you. And we actually have 7 mentions, whereas on CBC, I think we had 4, right? So let's move on. All right, CNN, you need a news channel. This is the news channel. This is Addy Goes Live. This channel could be anything you want. This channel is whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want it to be, that's what it is. Let me respond to this message. All right, let me see. Okay, so now we'll go on to Fox News. All right, so we'll open up the Twitter page, and okay, we're gonna click on Fox News. One link. Now is this actually the real Fox News web Twitter page? Because foxnews.onelink.me/ Like what is this link? Like, what is this link? All right, I don't know what that link is. That's very bizarre. I'm almost scared to. Okay, it's literally just an app. Oh my god. Okay. All right. I just want the gosh darn news website. Lisa, hello, Lisa. Then Matt says hello to Lisa, and Lisa says hello to Matt. So Lisa, I know you've just joined. What we are doing is we are taking a survey of various news websites to see how many of them are actually talking about what's happening in Iran. And if you are unaware of what's happening in Iran, I am not surprised, because barely anybody is talking about it, even though the country is like in the midst of a civil war. Like, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Like, people are protesting constantly. And so who knows? And then, of course, what was it? It wasn't last night. The night before last night, we had Occulusion in the chat room, who is an Iranian who was in Iran. And now, of course, he's not. And he's a regular in the chat room. And I just realized the other night that he's actually in Iran. And so, and of course, now with the blackouts in Iran, Occulusion's not here. I hope he's well. I was thinking about him earlier. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty neat that, like, I had a viewer in the chat room who was in Iran, and now he's not in the chat room, obviously, for obvious reasons. Okay, let's go to Fox News, and we're going to see, okay, of course, top story, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Will Tyler is in the room. Supreme leader about to flee to Russia. I heard that. I heard that somewhere. I don't know where I heard that, but I heard the same thing. Internet cut. Yeah, the internet was cut yesterday. Like yesterday, last night when I streamed, which, if Will Tyler, if you are not a subscriber, you should click the like button on the stream, as well as subscribing, and click the notification bell. But we were talking about it last night on stream, that the internet had been cut. Okay. But, okay, everything is Minneapolis, who cares, Minneapolis. Like, the media, they are just salivating for, like, another George Floyd story, right? They're just salivating, like, give it to me. Oh, we want the clicks. Like, that's what's happening. But, okay, let's look for Iran. All right, let's see. All right, so nothing. Okay, still dozens report. Okay. So this was about maybe 10% of the way down the page. We have our first Iran story. Okay, so let's look up. If we do a text search, we're getting 6 results, which I think is pretty okay. Okay, so Fox News had, I think Fox News wins in terms of who has it as a more prominent story. Now, I think CNN wins this, because look at this. Like, it's up here, like in the trending or live update section. So I think CNN wins this. Fox News comes in second, and CBC, CBC is a Canadian website, like Canadian news website, and you wouldn't even know that Canada, like there's like 2 wait a minute. Okay, 5 mentions of Iran. What about Canada? Okay, I was curious to see how many mentions of Canada there were on the CBC website, but it's plentiful. All right, so the last one, what do we have here? We have BBC World. Now, I do not. Oh, wait a minute. I got to respond. Sorry, I gotta stop everything and respond to this really quick. Wait. With your sewing machine. Okay. All right. So now, where were we? BBC World. Let's click on the Google. On the Twitter. Will Tyler says atrocities likely. Probably. I mean, like, that's kind of like, again, we talked about this last night, where you kind of get the impression that the reason the regime is cutting the internet is because they want to start just mowing people down. And it's not going to look very good if that's all on Twitter or on YouTube. So they cut the internet so those things cannot be shared, and now they're just going to start mowing people down. So we'll see what happens. Okay, BBC News. Now, before I click on the website, before I click on the tab, how prominently do we think this story is covered in BBC News? I think BBC News, it's going to be the worst of the 4 that we've checked. Honestly, Will Tyler says there's a pretty good channel that covers OSNT kinds of feeds across the globe. Or OSINT. OSINT. I don't know what OSINT is. They don't like other channels being advertised in their chat and don't want theirs and others' chat, so I won't post. But there's a lot of U.S. military activity heading that way, and they've been streaming lots of verified local details out of Iran. So we were talking last night how Trump basically told Iran that, like, you know, do what you're going to do, but if you start killing people, if you start, you know, committing atrocities, we're going to come in and we're going to put a stop to it. And like, I have my criticisms of Trump, but I liked that. I honestly liked that. Like, I was like, good, because I don't like military intervention. I am not a big fan of the U.S. being the policeman of the world, but there are certain times when I think it is appropriate, and I happen to think that this is one. Okay, bbcnews.com. Matthew says we've had a lot of U.S. military Air Force coming to the U.K. bases as well. Dude, are we ramping up for World War III? I mean, it feels like we've been in, like, you go to the movies, right? And like, at least back in my day, like, you would go to the movies, and like, I know a lot of you are probably young, maybe even never been to a movie in the movie theater, but one of my favorite parts of the movies was the previews. And this was like, and I'm talking like before YouTube, because now you can just get previews like willy-nilly, it's no big deal. But you would go to the movies and you would sit through like literally like 10 minutes of previews, and it was awesome because you got to see all these new movies that were coming up. Kirby's in the house. Kirby, hello. So I feel kind of like we have been sitting through the previews of World War III, and now it's like it's about to start, right? It's like the lights have finally dimmed, and that logo for AMC Theaters is on this screen, and it's about to start. All right, so BBC News, do we have faith that Iran is going to be prominently? I have a feeling it's not going to be very prominent at all. Let's see. Whoa! Well, color me wrong. Wow. Not only is it prominent, it is the lead story on BBC News. Well, BBC News, I gotta hand it to you. I am shocked. All right, let me respond to this message over here. One second. All right, so let me come over here. Okay, so I am actually very, very surprised that BBC News has the Iranian story so prominently displayed. Wow. Congratulations. Wow. Like, I'm pretty sure last night when we did this little exercise that Minnesota was the biggest story on the BBC News website. You can go back and watch the video, but I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it was all about Minnesota. Wow. Okay. Well, let's continue going through Twitter very carefully, mind you. Very, very, very carefully, because, somebody might put like, oh, Iranian boobies, check them out. Like, so I got to be very, as a matter of fact, I'm going to, let me, how do I want to do this? Let me bring this over here and just scroll down. Okay, I don't see any boobies, no boobies. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up and scroll down for a little while. And that's what we're going to do. I just want to make sure I didn't see any boobies. Okay, whoa. All right, so let's come over here. Let's check out what's going on. Okay, that was the top. So that doesn't look like an Iranian story. Maybe Iran needs to send their forces to protect the American people. Oh, Lord. Stop it, people. Like, you get people like this, right? Like this person, let's see. Let's check this person out. This person, I don't know. I was going to say maybe not this person specifically, but a lot of these people, they have lived a completely sheltered life in the United States, completely and in many cases have never left the United States. And if they have left the United States, they've gone to places like England or Germany or Norway, and like they live their life in this this privilege. And so they see things like what happened in Minnesota, which we talked about last night, which I've been saying, like I said last night, if somebody posted that what happened and said, if they posted it in the Am I an Asshole subreddit, it would be the biggest response would be, everybody sucks here. That would be the response. But these people, they've lived such a sheltered life, and they see something like the Minnesota story that they think that their struggle is on par with the people of Iran, and they have no clue. Anyway, that let me get off my soapbox before I get canceled. Oh. Sorry. I feel like I need to, when I'm responding to these messages over here, I need to tap out, and I need to let Lisa take over. Lisa, do you still have a microphone, Lisa? Do you still have your setup? Because Lisa used to do a talk show. She used to do again, it was before, I guess you could call it a podcast, but it was a live stream. We'll call it that. Lisa used to do a live stream. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to get to programming. Do not worry. If you are here for the programming, we will get to the programming. But for the past few nights, we have started every stream by talking about politics and news. So I don't hate that cadence. And it also gives me a few minutes. Oh God, I got to get this. Oh, wait, this is why I have a back scratcher. Give me a second. Oh yeah. Oh God. Oh God, that's good. Oh, it's so good. Okay. All right, let me put this down. I feel I feel small. Okay, let's keep going. Let's long live the Shah. So what I was thinking about this earlier. So I know that there was the Iranian Revolution in the 70s. So let's see. I'm going to ask AI about this. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so that's that. Let me just duplicate this. Yeah, actually, let me go off stream really quick. Or not off, yeah, off screen. Okay. Can you give me a brief summary of Iranian history with bullet points and not a lot of explanation, but enough to get the gist? I am interested in the last 150 years or so and how Iran got to the point where it is today. All right, let's see what it says. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Yes. Oh, that's right. Stefan is still in. I figured Stefan came in, listened for a second, and left. But yeah, Stefan was our Joke Spot. Sorry, Joke Spot was a big listener of the NHB Blind Person Radio. Okay, this is too much text. That's too much. That's too much. No, that's too much. No. That's too much text. Make it shorter. Okay, here we go. Very compressed, gist only. This is exactly what I was looking for. So in the late 1800s, they had a weak monarchy and with foreign control. Public anger. 1906, a constitutional revolution with a parliament and limited democracy. Yeah, all right. So, and then from 1920, so basically leading up to World War II, you had rules harshly. Reza Shah Pahlavi, Reza Shah Pahlavi modernized the country quickly and then ruled harshly, apparently. Sorry, this is going to stop in a couple minutes. All right. So Reza Shah Pahlavi modernized, fast, ruled harsh. Okay. Then the Allies occupied Iran. Mohammad Reza Shah takes over. Mohammad Reza Shah, and then Reza Shah. But they have literally 2/3 of their name is like, you could literally, you see Reza Shah Pahlavi and then Mohammad Reza Shah. So you could literally have Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. Okay, whatever. So Mohammad Reza Shah took over, right? And in 1953, Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh was overthrown. So the PM was overthrown by a US-UK backed coup. So my country and Matthew's country hooked up and was like, hey, let's just go overthrow Iran. And then they were like, all right, sure. Okay, so that was in 1953. So the US backed coup. So from 53 to 79, the Shah rules as US backed autocrat, modernization, repression. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue. I don't know anything, but I always thought that Iran was very, I don't want to say progressive, right? But before the Islamic takeover, more or less, I always got the impression that Iran was very kind of progressive, especially considering a Middle East country. But okay, so this is a little surprising that the Shah rules. But okay. 1979, Islamic Revolution. Shah is gone. Clerics take power. So the guy that they were talking about today, right? Because I know that there's been did they call him the Shah? There was a Shah that was tweeting, and it was kind of he was either tweeting or posting he was on some social media website, and that's kind of when the internet went down. And they think that maybe it was because he was riling up protesters that's why the regime cut internet. I don't know. Okay, so that was in 1979. And then 80 to 88, the Iran-Iraq war hardens the regime in society. All right. So from the 90s until today, or till recently, reforms versus hardliners struggle inside the system. So basically you had the same Islamic system ruling for 30 years and just like 50 years closer to, and just clamping down. And then today, a theocratic state, anti-West stance, internal unrest, and region power ambitions. Okay, so now I am aware of what's happening in Iran. All right, got it. What's going on over here? I am not aware of what's happening in the chat room, though. Let's see. Kirby says, imagine the BBC talking about a girl who was purposely blocking the road for no reason. Okay, so we're talking about Minnesota. And okay, so I'm not going to read that. Well, wait a minute. Okay. Blocking the road for no reason and not talking about the fighters of Iran who are fighting against authoritarian extremist Islamic groups. I mean, okay, fair. Matthew says they do bad things over here. No, I mean, they do bad things everywhere. Joke Spot started talking to Lisa, and then Iran had so much potential. It did. And Iranian women are, well, back then they were. Who knows what they're like? Never mind. I need to stop talking about women like that, right? I need to grow up. Grow up, Addie. When are you going to grow up? Okay, so that's what's going on in Iran. Okay, who are the Shah? Is it a person, a family, a title? What is it? Be concise in your answer. All right. Kirby says Persian culture has rich resources and economically it could arguably be a top 10 GDP country. Okay, I mean, like, I feel like you are correct there, Kirby. Like, I feel like lots of people have said that, like, again, about Iran in the 70s, it was a very, like, fast-growing, very, like, I don't want to say very rich country, but it was like a rich country back in the day. So, okay, so Shah is a title, not a single person. Okay, it means king in Persian. Got it. Multiple people have been Shahs over centuries, often held by members of a royal family. The last Shah was Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. Wait, it was the same person. Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. It was the same. Oh, wait, no. Reza Shah Pahlavi and then his son Mohammad Reza Shah. Got it. Okay. Often held, okay, and then the title ended in 1979 after the Islamic Revolution. Okay, so the news has been talking about a Shah who has been tweeting in support of the Iranian protesters. Who is that, and what link does he have to Iran? I want to. We're going to do some programming. Just calm down. It's okay. We're going to do some programming. Okay. We got to learn. We got to learn about Iran. Okay. Can you just wait a minute? Okay. The Shah you're seeing in the news is Reza Pahlavi. It's Reza Pahlavi. Well, wait a minute. How old is this guy? If his son took... Okay, wait, because you have the Reza Shah Pahlavi mentioned from 1921 to 1940. He's over 100 years old. Okay. Who is he? He's the exiled crown prince and eldest son of Iran's last monarch, Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. Oh, my God. Can these people not think of new names? Like, what is going on? Lisa says... but I have to get back to work. Text me later. Oh, and then I did see your message, Lisa, where you said you still have not responded to my text. I will respond to your text. I promise. I felt bad because Lisa and I, we were having kind of like this heart-to-heart conversation last night, and it was like right before I went to bed. And then, so like, here's the thing. And I think this is true for a bunch of people. It's like you could talk about yourself endlessly. And so I try to be conscious of that, right? Like if I'm like having a heart to heart with somebody, like I don't want it to be like my heart to them, like, or I'm just pouring my heart out to them. So what happen is like, I try to make it a back and forth. So I'll like sit there and I'll talk about my problems or what I'm feeling. I'll sit there and talk about it forever. Or not, I try to limit it, and then I'll ask questions because because I want to be fair, and also I'm genuinely curious as like, how is this person? Like, if I would like Lisa and I text like once every 3 to 6 months, I would say, right? And I'll text her and I'll tell her about like what's going on with me, and then I like try to be fair. So last night, like I'm like sitting on the toilet, because that's where all the best texting is done. And I'm trying, and like, I'm like telling her like what's going on kind of like in my life and like the things that like I'm like emotionally struggling with. And like, she's like kind of like, giving me feedback. And then when that part of the conversation kind of like settled, I was like, well, what's going on with you? And then she sends me a long text, and then I respond, and then she sends me another long response. And I think that's about when I fell asleep. So I feel kind of bad. Like I shouldn't have done that, but I will respond, Lisa. If you're still there listening, I will respond. Okay. The exiled crown prince. Okay. So these people, apparently they do not, I mean, like it's literally like it was George Foreman who named like all 7 of his kids George. That I feel like that's what's happening in this family. Okay. So the crown prince, he lives abroad and acts as a symbolic opposition figure to Iran's current government. Basically in support of the protests. He was the heir to the monarchy that ruled until 1979 when you had the Islamic Revolution. Today he has no formal power, but his appeal resonates with some protesters who are unhappy with the current regime. So, but the thing is let's say that they ousted the current government. Would they just be bringing in a king? Like, don't you generally have a revolution for democracy, at least in the modern day, right? You generally don't have a revolution against a single ruler to bring in another single ruler. Like, that seems a little counterintuitive. Like, it seems a little weird. It doesn't seem like quite how things work, but whatever. I am not one to question the Iranian people. I am not. I know nothing about them except, no, I'm not going to say it. I was going to talk about their women back in the 70s, but I know nothing about the Iranian people, so I'll just leave it at that. Kirby says the Shah was overthrown after the coup. He came back to power. The Islamic Revolution removed him for good. His son, who lives in the U.S., is building support for his people. So that was my next question. Like, where does he live? Where does this Shah live? Kirby says he lives in the U.S., but I also know that Kirby is a crippling alcoholic who hallucinates a lot because he does a lot of LSD. Let's see what the AI says. All right. He lives in the U.S. So, okay, so Kirby was correct. The person in question is Reza blah, blah, blah. He lives in the Washington, D.C., Maryland area. Maybe he's my neighbor. I suspect he probably lives in a richer neighborhood than I do. Not that I live in a bad or poor neighborhood, but I live in, I mean, there are better neighborhoods. We'll just put it that way. There are nicer neighborhoods. We'll put it like that. Okay, let me spend 30 seconds over here. Okay, I'm gonna spend 30 seconds over here. Okay. Will Tyler said, I predict Addy vacations in Iran post Ayatollah. I would love to. I mean, I was literally thinking about I was looking into going to Iran pre-Ayatollah or during Ayatollah. Like, I mean, like, I would love to go. There was an American YouTuber who, was it Sly? I don't think it was Sly. Like, let me check. Okay. Let me see. Was it Sly? Because was it? I didn't remember if it was. Let me see. What's the link? Okay, Sly's Life. Who is he's an American travel YouTuber. Sly's. Come on, Sly's Life, and 192. I'm not jealous. Oh yeah, look at the video. The video that's playing down in the corner. Like, yeah. I can fix her, boys. I can fix her. I'm telling you, I can fix her. Okay, I think he went to Iran. I know he went to Somalia, but let me see. Iran. Yeah, he went to Iran 10 months ago. No one said Tehran, Iran was like this. Tokyo. So he was in Iran. But he also went to Russia. So I think the thing, well, I have talked about this other travel YouTuber before, and I'm going to rant about this because it took me a minute to remember his name. This guy was part of why I started my YouTube channel. So he's kind of, there are two reasons. There are two main reasons that I started my YouTube channel, and one of them was him. And this, like, he's got close to 1 million subscribers now, but I found him when he had like 30,000 subscribers. And I sent the link to his channel to JokeSpot here, who JokeSpot's one of my best friends, if not my best friend. Love you. But I remember when this guy's sabbatical started to get a bit of a following, I sent it to my friend Stefan, aka JokeSpot. And Stefan promptly ignored my message. And then about a year later, he sends me a link to Sabbatical saying something like, oh, hey, you should check out this channel. I literally went in our WhatsApp history and found the message where I sent him the link and was like, this is why you're not my friend anymore, or something, whatever it was. So, all right. I got to stop this stream for a second. This is very abrupt. I was hoping I could wait, but I've got to pee really bad. So I'll be right back. All right, boys. All right. So, Sabbatical, right? Kirby says, I thought we were best friends. We are, Kirby. We are. Because I'm not best friends with Stefan anymore. Fuck that guy. I don't like him. Fuck that guy. Okay, Sabbatical. All right. So, like, he was a big reason why I started my channel, because he had a small channel, and at the time he had a very just kind of like laid back, casual kind of style of doing his travel YouTube. And I liked it, and I resonated with it, and I tried to emulate it, and my channel failed miserably. It is what it is, as Stefan just said. It's the way she goes is another thing that Stefan likes to say. Stefan has a very, like, if you've ever seen the movie, I think it was Rocky IV, when Rocky fights a Russian, and I must break you. Like, that's how Stefan sounds when he talks. And I'm not even joking. That's literally how he sounds. I must break you. But anyway, so I start my Sabbatical. So in a sense, I looked up to him, right? Because, you know, you look up to people like, oh, wow, he's got a big channel. And he gets lots of interaction on his videos. And so yeah, I looked up to him. And then I guess it was maybe a year or so ago. He goes to, okay, I'm just going to find it. Russia. I don't know where the first video is. Let's see. This is a border. I don't know. It's one of these, but he posted a video that was titled something to the extent of, they told me not to go to Russia. Will they arrest me? Or something like that. Like, if I look for arrest, is it in here? I was arrested. No, not this one. I think it was a different one. But he posted something like, it was literally like, they told me not to go to Russia, and will they arrest me? Right? And then he posted a second one. Like, it was like, I pray they won't hurt you, or something like that. Right? So he posts these videos, which is fine, you know. However, come to learn that he posts them, that he publishes these videos while he's in Russia. Literally, while he is in Russia, JokeSpot says he changed the title. Okay, yeah. While he's in Russia, he is posting these videos. He's American. He's traveling to Russia, and he's posting videos that are like even slightly critical. One sec. Gotta spend. but he's posting these videos while in Russia. Like, it's one thing to the scariest experience I had while like traveling was when I was in Zimbabwe. And you can go Addy goes places. You can check out my travel channel. It's there. I think the title's it's entitled something like 24 hours in Zimbabwe, whatever it is, right? But I made sure not to post that video until I left Zimbabwe, until I was out of Zimbabwe. And this stupid motherfucker goes to Russia, which is all like, even if we weren't at war with Russia, like Russia's treatment of journalists or whatever you want to call it is already questionable. But never mind that Russia is in a proxy war with the United States, the country that this guy is from, and this motherfucker is going to go to the country and, oh my God. Now look, I was telling my daughter this story. Now, you got to understand, I don't talk about my daughter a lot because, well, it's whatever, it's private. But my daughter is very much a like hyper liberal millennial, okay? And very much like one thing that I'll say about her politics is like never, ever, ever blame the victim, which I generally agree with. And I remember I was telling her this. I was telling her about this guy and like kind of like relaying the story that I'm relaying to you now. I tell her and she's like, you know, I'm very much against blaming the victim, but in this case, I think the victim deserves to be blamed. Because it's just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, and it's literally like he went to Russia looking to get arrested because maybe that would help his channel go viral. Now, mind you, at this point, he had already had a decent following. Granted, I'm pretty sure that this story that like, and you can see how like he made this one video that like after he got out of Russia, it's like, it starts with, it's the douchiest fucking thing in the world. Is this it? Where it starts with a couch and then he walks into screen and he's like, let's begin. And then he just tells the story about like how, and is this it? That's not it. I don't know where it is, but it was, oh my God. And honestly, like I said, I looked up to this guy in some sense. And ever since that happened, I don't watch any of his videos because all I can think about is how fucking stupid he is and how douchey he is. So I can't stand this guy. I can't stand this motherfucker. All right, let's do some programming. Who's ready? Who is ready to do some programming? Are we ready? We've talked about Iran. We've talked about sabbatical. I did not talk about the second reason I started my YouTube channel, but I will save that for another day. I know I keep teasing that to Matthew, but maybe we'll talk about that some other day. What the hell is this? Okay, whatever. All right. So let's, where were we last night? Okay, so last night, when we left things, I forget where we were. We were dealing with the vectorization of text, right? And that's what this is over here on the left-hand side. Matthew says, I need to power off my PC and pack it up in a minute. You suck, Matthew. You've got a telephone. You've got a phone. You know, if only you could watch YouTube on your phone. Oh, gosh darn, Matthew. That's a shame. Gosh darn. Will Tyler says, Claude, YOLO mode. So I'm assuming you're the person on Jute. I loved Joe. Like Joe is a really good friend of mine. Like Joe and I were really close for a long time. And I don't want to speak bad of the dead, but I think enough time has passed where I can, because it's the stupidest fucking name for a message. I fucking hate it because I don't know how to pronounce it. Like Jute, like how would you guys here? I'm going to put here, Matthew's gone now, but how would you pronounce this word? How would you pronounce that? Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Horrible name. Don't dox me, bro. I'm doxing you. Kirby says, Addy, who's ready for programming? Also, Addy, 2 minutes later. All right, guys, let me tell you an old story. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna just calm down for a second. We're gonna get there. All right. I don't know why you guys are so hyper. I don't understand. So Will Tyler says Jew-alt. Jew-alt, whatever it is, I hate it. I remember having this conversation with Joe like long time ago, obviously before he died. But I remember telling him that, well, it's like, you got to do something about, you have to do something about that name. It's terrible. It's awful. And of course I was kind of like half joking, half not joking. And I knew he wasn't going to change it. But now that he's gone and I'm running the board, I should change it. Actually, and Will, like one of the things that I seriously want to do with the board, or with Jute, whatever. One of the things that I really want to do, I really want to combine it with my board. And I want to do it, I know it's an acronym, or it's actually, it's an initialism, not an acronym, right? Because acronyms are like NASA, right? Where the initials, or am I confusing it? Where the initials spell out their own word. That's an acronym. An initialism is where they, like FBI is an initialism. NASA is an acronym. I think I might be reversing that. Initialism versus acronym. An acronym is an abbreviation pronounced as a word. God damn, I am smart. So acronym is an abbreviation pronounced as a word, while an initialism uses the first letters but is spoken as individual letters, right? So I guess you could say, so Jute is an acronym if you say it Jute, but it's initialism if you say J-U-O-T. Okay, so maybe, okay, you win this one, Will, Tyler. You win this one, all right? All right, fine. Yes, I know it's Joe's Unlimited off topic, or I know. I'm aware of the history. I am aware of the history of Joe. I'm not just some stranger that came in and took over. Anyway, all right. Jeep's Unlimited. Yeah, because I know the story. Okay, I am boring everybody. If you are curious, JUOT.org, if that's what we were talking about, this is a message board. The message board where I met my good friend Joe, because I run a message board, which you can go to using amb.dog. AMB stands for another message board, but you can use amb.dog, amb.news, but basically another message board. I also registered Antifa's message board, which I thought was cute. Anyway, so I ran AMB and Joe ran JUOT, but he started his, like we didn't know each other. And then we didn't even know each other's boards existed. And then I wrote this plugin for the board software that Joe actually downloaded. He needed some tech support. So he messaged me. And then that's how we became friends. And then Joe, I think I've talked about him on the stream before, but he passed away August of 2024. So it's been about a year and a half roughly. And when he passed away, like I took over his message board. And there's been some weirdness. Like I'm afraid that the guy might be, no, he's probably not listening, but there's been weirdness with Joe's death where, so Joe passes away in August of 2024. Okay. And then it was sad and I'm not trying to trivialize his death. So, but he had a lot of internet assets, right? Like he had his message board, which I would qualify as an internet internet asset, online asset. He also had a YouTube channel bigger than mine, like he had like a very active live stream. Consistently would have 30, 40, 50 viewers in his in his chat room. Very and I applauded him, and I hope to one day have an audience of similar size. Okay, so he passes away, and they had a lot. Obviously his mother and his sister, they have access to his online assets and blah blah blah. And is Kirby, are you crying, Kirby, because Joe passed away or because I'm still not programming? So he had this online, or he had this YouTube stream. And I took over the message board. And this guy, what is his name? LD Free the Net or whatever his name was. He's been in the chat room before. But he comes in and he starts asking me because like his sister Joe was, oh my God, Joe was very OCD in some senses because he had a large printout or several pages printed out of like website, login name, password, website, login name, password. And his sister sent me like everything, right? And so this guy, LDG Free the Net, who I knew was friends with Joe also, he starts asking me for passwords. And I'm like, it's not my place to give the passwords out. You want the passwords, you go talk to his sister, you talk to his mother. It's not for me to give out. And the weirdest part was that they start, and I say they because I think Joe's mother might have had a part in this, but they start restreaming the live streams. And I remember the first couple times that this happened, I'm just on YouTube, right? I'm like, let me go to YouTube, let me click on my notifications, and then it's like Birdo Prey, his online name was Birdo Prey 5. Like, Birdo Prey 5 is live. And I'm like, no, he's not, he's dead. No, they've taken his live streams and they're rebroadcasting them. And I had to unsubscribe from him because it was weird. It was weird. And I felt like it was kind of like, because Joe's channel was monetized. And I remember talking to him about it. He didn't make a ton of money, but he made a few $100s a month off his channel, which I'd be happy to take a few extra $100s a month. Sure. But it felt like, I don't want to say a money grab, but it felt a little bit like a money grab. And not necessarily from his mother, but from this guy LDG Free the Net or whatever it is. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And it also rubbed me the wrong way how LDG Free the Net was asking for passwords, and then he was asking for like FTP access, and I'm just like, no. It was weird. It was all weird. The restreams of Joe's channel are bizarre. Yes, I thank you for saying that. Oh my God, I'm so glad that I'm not the only one that felt that way. Just weird. Kirby is crying for both. Will Tyler says, I want to think that the person running his channel is doing it out of love for Joe, but it just feels too creepy to click on. I think it's LGG Free the Net. And is it so the couple of times that I have clicked into the channel, there have been like one, two, often zero people in the chat room. Channels will get demonetized, and if this is LDG Free the Net doing it, I hope that channel gets demonetized. Bird Prey 5. Let me see. I haven't looked at it. They're live now. Like, what is this? That's Joe. That's literally Joe. Like, what is this?
Incredibly underrated movies. The Postman.
That's him, Captain Fandom Nerd. Good morning. And then I guess I can.
World is watchable.
I can understand why it's his mother, for Christ's sakes. I get that. It's just still too creepy. I can't. It's still too creepy. Oh, so Stefan says another Patrice O'Neill benefit. Yes, which is that is such an on point comparison. So in case you don't know, Patrice O'Neill was this comedian, and he died in like 2012, something like that. And his girlfriend, like the year after he died, she had a Patrice O'Neill benefit to raise money for charity or for his family. And then every year since his death, That woman. Now, I don't know if they're still doing it, but let me see. Let's see. Patrice O'Neal benefit. The 12th annual Patrice O'Neal comedy benefit. Now, at one point, they had big names like Bill Burr, I think, was part was at one of these benefits, and other big like Jim fucking stupid. Oh, Jim Norton. I can't fucking stand. But let's see. Is there anybody else? Okay, Patrice O'Neal. Oh, plan your visit. Event. Okay, so wait. Okay, yes, we know. Okay, so let's see. Okay. This is May 18th, 2025, so this has not been updated. Who is going to be there? Okay. Rosebud Baker, never heard. Greer Barnes, no idea. DC Benny, Bill Burr. There's no way Bill Burr is still performing at the Patrice O'Neal. No, I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it. All right, well, whatever. Okay. All right, whatever. All right, we're going to program. Kirby, are you excited? Will Tyler says, I saw one recently. You're talking about, I assume you're talking about Bird O' Prey, which is it's just so, like, imagine, like, this person who was, like, one of your best friends for 15 years. And now, like, it's just weird. It's so weird. Joe. And you know what? The thing is if Joe was alive, I promise you he would agree with me that it was weird. Now, he would defend his mother, of course. It's his mother. Fine, it's his mother. But it's just weird. Okay, Kirby. All right, we're doing it, Kirby. We're doing it. Okay. So what I did this morning was I was trying to understand more because, okay, let's recap. Let's recap where we left off last night. And this is where everybody tunes out. Kirby is code starved. All right, we'll get there. Jokespot says they have something on Berg. Yes, I'm sure they probably have. Yeah, no, they have some blackmail, some type of blackmail on Bill Burr. Sad. Okay. All right. Okay. I gotta get my bearings. Okay. So I added a couple of things this morning, and then I changed data paths around. I did it because I was last night after the stream. I went downstairs and I was playing with this on my Mac, and so I had to change the data paths. But we can just do this here. This is easy enough. Okay. So I'm trying to think of what to do next. Okay, got it. So remember, we have the wait. Well, let me back up for people. Let me back up a little bit. What we are trying to do is we are trying to turn. How far do I back up? That's the problem. We have a game, and in the game there are NPCs, and part of the game is you telling the NPCs what to do. Right now imagine that it's an open world map, and the NPC, you tell an NPC, you say, hey NPC, go to this spot. Right? You've labeled the spot. You can label spots, and you say NPC, go over to this spot. And the way we did this was with a menu, right? Where you click on the NPC and then you get a menu, and then I wish I could show you, but everything's broken. Is it broken right now? Let's see if it's broken. I actually haven't tried it in a while. I haven't tried this in a bit, so maybe it's working. Maybe it magically fixed itself. What's going on? Usually it doesn't take that long. Come on. Come on. I want to show the people what's going on. Let's go. Let's move it, people. Let's move it. Okay. So, all right. So if is green guy, hopefully green guy's there. Okay, so this is one of the friendly NPCs. Yes, this game is still in development, so I don't want to hear anything, okay? So you can label a spot, like let's label this spot right there. I'm gonna call it Kirby 1, okay? And now, so I label it, now that spot's labeled Kirby 1. So now I can go to this guy and I can say, hey, hopefully this works. I haven't tried this in ages. Okay, it's not gonna work. Why can't I interact with him? What is broken here? All right, we might. This is what we're doing tonight, Kirby. We're fixing this because it's kind of Oh, I know why. I know why. Wait, motherfucker! I can't do this. I can't do this. All right. Okay, let's try that again because I did get it to work for a second. I think I remapped things. It says press E, but I think instead of pressing E... No. Okay, so I got... Oh, god damn it. Stop. Okay, so I got to label a point. All right, so I'm going to label this. I'm going to be like Kirby loves BBC. All right? And that means the British Broadcasting Company. So Kirby loves the British Broadcasting Company. All right. So now I can say go to, and I can select... Oh, god, I hope this works, or it's going to be pretty embarrassing. Okay, so he's going to go over there, and then he's going to struggle to get there, apparently. Seriously? Oh, it's because I haven't remapped everything. Okay, I get it. All right. Just, okay, stop it. I don't want you to have a conniption fit. Just stop. Okay, okay. Kirby also loves WBC, or WB. Okay, that's our, okay, we got that. Okay, so now I can tell him, okay, I'm going to tell him to go to WBC. Okay, Kirby also loves Okay, that doesn't work because, okay. Anyway, you get the point, right? You get the point. It's through this menu, you can tell this guy if this worked. You can label points on the map, and you can tell him to go to those points. You get it, right? If you don't understand it, I can't help you. Like, honestly, you should be able to understand that. Confirm? Okay, perfect. Okay, you get it. You get the picture. Well, the game will have lots of other commands you can do, but let's just stick with the go-to command. So you notice that I had to label a point. I called it Kirby loves BBC or whatever stupid name I gave it. So what I want to do, I mean, there's lots of things I want to do in the game, but what the feature that we're working on is imagine where I had that menu. Imagine instead of having to select, so let's imagine I can go up to him and let's say I've already labeled a point. Just pretend I've already labeled a point. And now I go up to him. Now say that there's another option. I don't know what we could call it, speak or whatever you want to call it. But then you get an edit box. And all I mean by that is a text box, right? You just get a plain old text box. And then you could actually just literally type in go to waypoint 1 or hurry up to waypoint 1 or get your ass to waypoint 1. Like basically you can use natural language in order to give him a command. And so that's what we're working on. We're working on this portion of taking the text input and actually turning it into, what we want to turn it into is JSON. But basically turning it into something that a computer can easily understand. And then the natural next step after the text input is having something where you can just speak to it, right? Because at that point, all you need is just speech to text. And speech to text is, I don't want to say easy. I never like to use the word easy when talking about computer programming, but I think I think instead, what I often use instead is straightforward. It's very straightforward to add some speech to text. And now once you have the text, you feed, so you can see where it's going, right? So imagine you can walk up to that green guy and you can press a button and you can just say, hey, go to waypoint 1. Okay, so what we worked on, so let me show you this. All right, so it was Saint. This stream is dedicated to Kirby. All right, so I think I moved things around. I did, but I don't need to. Okay, so no, wait a minute. Okay, wait, what? Who? Who? Okay. Just wait a minute, Kirby. Just wait a minute. We're getting there. All right, I got to train this model really quick. Hopefully it's really quick. I don't know if it's really quick. Okay, it's not going to be really quick. But while we're waiting for that, I think I can go over here. Was it intent model? No, that's a different computer. Okay, no, it's all on this computer. Okay, well, wait a minute. What the fuck happened, Kirby? This is Kirby's fault. This is literally Kirby's fault. I'm sick of Kirby. All right. Okay, all the model stuff's here, so I can just use it there. Oh, saw. Wait. Oh, I typed saw. Source. Okay. Now, what I want to show you is the test, right? So, whoops. Oh, motherfucker. Copy ... intent model.pt to the local folder, and then now we can do this, okay? All right. Oh, I'm training with the model, but then I copied it. Oh, okay. I didn't need to do that. Okay, it's going to take a second to load, I guess. Why is it taking so long to load? I know what I did. I'm sitting here trying to impress Will Tyler, and nothing's working. Never mind that Will Tyler has probably already left. Speech to text prototype. Addy, bring your ass over here. Need help from Kirby. Will it work? Why is this not working, Kirby? What did you break? Kirby broke something. I'm fairly certain. Okay, I am going to destroy this repo. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm going to destroy it by doing this. I'm just going to copy all the Python files back to this folder, and then I'm going to try it running it here. It's fucking taking its time. It's taking its sweet old fucking time. What's going on? This was working just great last night. Now, Will Tyler is completely unimpressed. I promise you, Will Tyler is completely unimpressed. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Where's it stuck? See, wasn't the first hour of this stream much more interesting? This is what the second hour usually is now. It's just me sitting here and being like, wait, what broke? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Test.py was definitely working last night. Okay. Well, you're just going to have to take our word for it. So basically, if I could get this to work, right? If I could get it to work, what you could do is you would type in a command, and you could see that the test command, oh yes, I remembered I destroyed this section on purpose last night. You bastard, Kirby. But so we had, we used a couple examples last night. The last example that we used last night that is still in my text editor is give Matthew a blowy in the bathroom. And then Matthew, who I don't know if he's still listening or not, but what happens is it will return this JSON text here. And there are, let me see if I can undo. Okay, perfect. Okay. So in this case, what I said is go make a steak for me and not sure, but Matthew is vegan like a pussy. And then it still spits you back JSON. this is bugging me that it's not working. But there's a couple of things here there's 4 major parts of any of the go to command. There is the command itself, like go to, right? Like, well, go to, follow, stay, but in this case, go to. There is the speed, so you could be like go to quickly, or go run to, right? You could say run to. So how fast you go to it. There's also the urgency, which I am kind of thinking I might merge into the speed, right? Because I don't know that you could really be like slowly go to point A. I guess you could, or slowly go to point A immediately. I guess you could. So there's the command itself, the speed and the urgency, and then of course where you're going, right? So this JSON, this portion here, you have the intent. This is what we're calling it, at least in the JSON, is intent. That is basically the command. In this case, it's go to. We have the speed. So again, the command was go make a steak for not sure and Matthew. Or you know what I mean. The speed, which in this case is normal, and then the urgency, which is normal. Now, the interesting thing here is that what you're actually getting returned is you're getting returned all of the commands possible. So this is a very small AI model. We have fed it. We have said these are all the possible. I think that's over here. Yes. Over here, these are all the possible commands. Go to, follow, and hold position. Obviously, we will add more in the future. But we've said for now, these are the possible 3 commands. These are the possible 3 speeds at which you can do these commands. And these are the possible 3 urgencies. So what it does is it returns the most likely one, which is this, go to. And then it returns a confidence of how certain. Let me see if I can find the one with a lower confidence. Yeah, the give Matthew a blowy. So you can see here that when I said give Matthew a blowy, it kind of is like hold position. I guess it assumes that Matthew is right before you with his junk hanging out. But the AI did its best, and it's like, okay, well, of those 3, I think the player is telling the NPC to hold position. But you can see it only has a 66% confidence. And then a speed of normal, of which it has a 97% confidence that that's what the player intended. And then it has a normal urgency, of which it only has a 91% confidence that the player that is what the player intended. And then since this is a hold position, there is no target, right? You're not going to say hold. I guess you could say hold position at waypoint 4 or waypoint 1, which actually would be a great test case command, like hold. Kirby, remember that. Hold position at waypoint 1, because I'm super curious as to what the AI would return back. And if we could get... Oh, I know what happened. This is what we need to do. I'm actually going to put this into the README file, into a README file, so that I do not forget it. All right, bear with me here. This may be needed on some systems. All right, I'm just going to put that here because I don't want to forget this command. All righty. Okay, so basically what the issue is that my GPU is not good enough, so I need to use the CPU version of this torch library. So to do that, we will do pip uninstall torch, I believe. I gotta uninstall torch, and then we have to reinstall it, which should only take a second. Hold position at waypoint 1. Thank you, Kirby. It's always good to have a confidence in the... Why do you need urgency to be a whole separate object? So again, this will make Tyler happy, Will Tyler happy, because AI pretty much, like, I asked AI to design some of this, and so AI came up with a speed and urgency. I'm not quite sure why it did, but it did. It did. That's just kind of what it came up with. All right, let's wait for this. So, Will Tyler, if you're still there, that's what we're working on. So again, but we can move on because so this is in Python, which is, which Python's fine, but the game is written in C#, which you're not going to write a game in. Like, that's just stupid. So we're trying to take this code and kind of put it over to C#. So you can see here on the bottom, we have a C# portion. Like, we've started working on the C# code. And this is down here on what I've highlighted on the bottom. This is what the C# output. And so this is only for the intent, and it's giving you a probability and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get too into the weeds. I wish this would hurry up, but let's move on. I want to test that what we have done actually will work. So let's go, or what I think I did it this morning. I don't know. I should probably, I don't know what I did this morning actually. All right, so let's look at the output. Okay, so the input for this, what was the input for this? Walk to Central Park now. And Central Park is an actual waypoint. So, but we in C#, all we have implemented are the first three things. We have implemented the intent, the speed, and the urgency. And I agree with you, Kirby, that the urgency and the speed, like does urgency really need to be its own? I guess you could, right? Because you could say, like, slowly go to point A immediately. That would be like a high urgency, but you want the NPC to go slowly. Like, I'm not saying, again, when I say things like that, I'm not saying we will have a use case like that. I'm just saying we could have a use case like that. And I have found it, in my experience, I have found it better to prepare for all types of various use cases. I like, if I hear like a programmer say something like, well, that's never going to happen, we don't have to do that, I would say 95% of the time I want, like, you should slap them and be like, no, we need to prepare for that. Like, because I've just found in my experience, a lot of the times when they say, well, that's never going to happen, it happens. All right, so is this done? Okay, yes, I want to proceed. I really want to show Will Tyler this Python approach, but it's not working, and I don't think he's in the chat room anymore. All right, so let's see. So Will, if you're there, that's my way of seeking reassurance, right? That's like, like if you if sometimes you get a little insecure in your relationship, and then you're like, well, yeah, if you really loved me, you would probably tell me more often, like that kind of thing. All right, so let's see. Okay, so we can, all right, so can I, okay, it's not there. Okay, this is why I put it in the README file, so that, okay, I don't know where the README went, but I guess it's over here. All right, and then we're gonna go over here, and then we're gonna go here, all righty, and then we're gonna go there. Excellent. All right, we are cooking with fire now. No. How's everybody doing? Everybody got plans for the weekend? And I really need to get out of the habit, because like when I'm talking to you guys, I'll look over here, because that's where the chat, that's where the chat window is, right? Like here, like this is where the chat window is. So I look to my right, I'm looking at the chat window, but then I realize I'm not looking at you. All right, so I think we can... So what I was doing, what was on the screen earlier, I'll show you what was on the screen earlier. Let me see. Is it... Okay, so it's not there anymore. Let's see. PyTest. That's where I put it. So there is this library in Python. It is called, I will tell you the name as soon as, okay, it is called text embedding. And what this does is this takes text that you give it and basically vectorizes it. So text vectorization. And the neat thing about that is, and I talked a little bit about this last night, is that, and that's kind of like how AI works, where it basically takes text, it turns it into a unique vector. A vector, in case you don't know, it's just like a bunch of numbers. It's just like, it's not a single number. A vector is just like 2.5, 6.8, 7, 9 point, blah, 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 right? But they're separate numbers, but they're all together in a vector, right? So it takes, what this library does is it takes a sentence, or it takes any text, it turns it into a vector. And then that way, if you have like a string A and that equals some vector, string B equals some other vector, and then string C equals yet another vector, what you can do is you can do A minus B is going to equal some vector, and then A minus C, I shouldn't use C here, A minus C is going to equal yet another vector. And what you can do is you can say, well, which one's smaller? Is P smaller or is L smaller? And then that will tell you, whichever one's smaller, that'll tell you, oh, well, A is closer to B or A is closer to C. But what that means is that actually maps back to the text as well. So it's actually telling you which text is more similar to other text. And the only reason I wrote this little program was just to kind of like better understand it myself, because what we need to do is we need to have that text encoding in C#. And then we need to, let's start there. And maybe we can accomplish that in the next half hour before we call it a night. Will Tyler says, my Claude has written more code in the time you've been reinstalling Torch than you've written in the whole stream. Okay, yeah, no. Hey, go for it, man. I applaud you. I applaud you, vibe coders. I applaud you, vibe coders. Did you guys not learn anything about, from the tragedy? What was it? Was it the T app? What app was it about 6 months ago that was all in the news about where women could basically go and rate the guys that they were dating? And then it had like a big security breach. Okay, so is this done? It's still installing. It's also a slow computer. That's also part of it. It's got a lot of RAM, so it can never mind. It's got a lot of RAM, but it's not the fastest as the CPUs. I have been thinking about upgrading, but then there's, you always got to think about upgrading your computers, your car, your wife. Always think about upgrading. That's a joke. That's a joke. Calm down. Calm down. Okay, so we got to figure out how to do the text vectorization. And then once we do the text vectorization, then we can see about how to do cosine similarity. And then, oh wait, I wanted to look at let's see. One thing I wanted to see is, so if I go back to the example of like, go to waypoint 1 right now. Okay. So what's happening in Python is it's doing vectorization. So I pass it in. Here are all the waypoints over here on the right-hand side. So it has a vector for each one. Each one has a unique vector representation. And then what it's doing is it's getting a vector representation of this sentence on the left-hand side. And then it is seeing it's basically doing a difference between each one and finding out which one has the smallest value. And that tells it which waypoint, essentially which waypoint is in the text. My wife just got home. I'll be right back. I just got to go say hello to her. All right, boys, I'm back. Give me a sec. Okay. Ugh. All right. I look forward to years of non-engineers rolling out slop code and watching things burn as a result. Yes, that was what happened with the T app. So I think it was called the T app. And I don't know if you know the story of the T app, but basically it was women could sign up and you had to prove you were a woman. And and we're talking, like antique women. Or no, that's a bad way of putting it. We're talking a woman from we're talking 1990s woman and not 2025 woman, right? So they only allowed women to sign up, and it was basically you could sign up and then you could basically post pictures and details of the guys that you had gone out on dates with, right? And then the thing is then like if multiple women like rated the same guy, then it was a way for women to avoid that guy and like things like that. So in order to prove that you were a woman, you had to upload a copy of your ID. You send them a copy of your ID, you register, they verify it, and then they give you access. Great. Well, the majority of the app was vibe coded. It was written by the original version was written by the CEO. This is my understanding of it, so this could be wrong. But the original version was written by the CEO. And he took some like 6-month boot camp vibe coding course or whatever. Okay, great. And it took basically the app got, you probably heard about it, but it kind of went viral. It was all in the news and everything. And the media reported that it had been hacked because they got all of those IDs from the women who had registered, and it was all published online. And every story was calling it hacked. It was hacked. It took less than 24 hours for the T app to get hacked. Do you know how it was hacked? Well, because it was vibe coded, the way that it worked was when you uploaded your ID as a woman registering for it, you upload your ID. The copy of that ID would then get uploaded to an S3 bucket. In case you don't know, you can think of an S3 bucket as basically just any old hard drive, right? Or any old disk space. Think of it as an FTP site. A copy of it got uploaded to this S3 bucket. And you know how let me see if I have. Let me see. Oh, I know. Baby, no, I'm going to come down and eat. All right. All right, thank you, honey. Thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, so we got Thai food. Also, my wife is Thai. So anyway, so these IDs get uploaded to this S3 bucket. But do you know how, like, if you go to, let me see. Wait. I do have an example. Let me find an example of what I want to show you. Now, this is a fake example, but you'll get the picture. You know how sometimes you go to a website and you see something like this, which is just folders? The reason that this happens is because there's no security on the folder. It's just viewable. It's just public. Like it's within Apache's root folder, and it's perfectly viewable. Nothing's stopping it from being viewed. That's how they hacked the T app. All the IDs were just sitting in a publicly viewable S3 bucket. Why? Because the app had been vibe coded and had no security. Why didn't it have any security? Because the idiot that wrote it didn't even think to ask AI to add security. So the AI didn't add security. And that's how the T app was hacked. And there was recently something, and I tried finding it, but it was like some Y Combinator post or something, or it might have been an Instagram reel I saw where there was a library. Again, AWS is involved, but there was a library written for Rust, the Rust programming language. It was a library written by a vibe coder, and it did something where it would connect to AWS. It was like some AWS API for Rust, and the authentication tokens were hard coded into the app. Not to the app, into the library, into the source code that was then pushed to GitHub. And it had been sitting in GitHub for months. And there was a CVE. I looked for this the other night. CVE, Rust, authentication, hard coded. Is this it? Hard coded token with privileges 5 days ago. This must be it. Rust file system has been mentioned quite a lot in this subreddit, and it appears to be a promising replacement for Mini.io. There is a hard-coded token string in the code prior to Alpha's 0.78 that can be bypassed. So, yeah, again, something that's... So this is going to be the slop that comes from vibe coding. This is what vibe coding is going to give you. It's going to give you people who don't know anything about actual software development trying to release software, trying to do software development. Now, you can write programs, that's fine, but to do actual professional software development, good luck, good luck. Will it catch up? Yes. Will it replace our jobs? Probably, yes, but I don't think anytime soon. All right, Kirby, I'm sorry. We're going to get back to this. Listen, I know you guys love it when I eat on stream. All right. It installed.
Seriously? It's still giving me. Well, okay, fuck that. Fuck it. We'll handle it later. Will Tyler says, what do you work in? A mixed bag, going 28 years now, mostly C#, Python, React, and Angular, and TSQL. Oh, I smell a web developer in our midst. You woman. All right. That's good. That's good stuff. So we have to figure out how to do that text vectorization. Let's start there. And let's literally just ask AI how to do it. Now, I was talking to AI earlier about kind of how to do it. Let's see. Let's go with option 2. Give me some instructions on getting that set up. I think this was... Okay, because I asked it, the $1 million question, is there similar or directly equivalent library for C# talking about the hell is it called? This text embedding library. At least I think I was. Let me make sure about that. Talk to me about the Python module sentence transformer. What is it? What is it used for? It tells me about it, and then that's where I asked it if there's something similar. All right. So my understanding is that this text embedding is a lighter version, or I'm sorry, light embed is a lighter version of the sentence transform. All right. Literally one of the options that AI recommended was that where was it? It was somewhere. It was like write a Python wrapper. Right? Yeah. Write a C# sentence transformer wrapper, like a wrapper. Like no. Actually, maybe that's not a terrible idea. No, because, well, can you compile? No. As soon as I said compile, I start thinking about operating systems. Nope. And this is Mac, Windows, and Linux. Nope. I wouldn't consider myself a web developer. Well, you mentioned Angular. So, and React, which mind you, I've played with both, but you're not a web developer. Let me ask you, what is a woman? I mean, what is a web developer? I see where this is going. Okay, so here's AI's. Okay, download the model files. Okay, from the Hugging Face repo. The tokenizer config files, you can manually download them. Put them in your C# project, something like this. Create a C# project and install the new Git packages. Now, I mentioned this last night that I really like this .NET, this little .NET helper application. Back in my day when I was doing C# for my day job, didn't exist. So, I'm glad it's there. Oh, back in my day, you literally had to go to the website and download the DLL. And then, if you were lucky, it was an assembly DLL and you could just import it into your project. But sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it was a good old traditional Windows 32 DLL that you had to jump through hoops in order to get it into your application. Will says, I also would say that a senior engineer using AI agents to generate code is not the same as a non-engineer vibe coding a production app like the T app or however it's. I absolutely agree. Look, I use AI every single day that I program. Like it is an excellent tool. It is an amazing tool. It is I can't imagine programming without AI nowadays. Like it is just such a good tool. But you need to know what to ask it. And you only get that from experience. And like that's why like in 10 years, after I'm retired, possibly dead, but 15, 20 years, what is software development going to look like? I mean, I think even in 10, 15 years, you're still going to need people who know what to ask the AI, people who know how to kind of like check the AI. And I don't mean check the code. I mean to check like when you say like, you got to check yourself, like that kind of thing. Like to kind of make sure that the AI hasn't gone completely off the rails. Like you're still going to need that no matter what. Where the hell is my trash can? So you're still going to need that. I don't know what software development's going to look like in 10, 15 years. I don't know. I'm a little scared. All right. Here's the story, boys. We're not getting anything done tonight. Nothing. Zilch. Oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. I almost inhaled that pad thai, literally. Matt says, yes, AI is a tool like any other that can help us. Absolutely. My bigger worry is newbies coming into the space like AI, get out of my brain, Matthew. That's a storm brewing. That is, yes. There's a great, what is her name? I played it before. Is it Emma? Alba Tech? Is that her name? No, there's a real, I'll find it some other time. There's a really funny TikToker. I think her name is Alba Tech. She's really funny, but she had something that was just like, it was a skit that was like about trying to replace, you can replace the junior engineers with AI. Well, can we replace the mid-level engineers? Like, you probably don't want to. Well, can we replace the senior engineers? And it's like, good luck. You can fucking try, but no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. All right, boys, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream a little bit early. My wife was kind enough to pick us up some Thai food. So if I build an application that has a web UI API database backend processing, I roll it out as an OVA complete with, why? complete with the OS setup and everything to package an app. Am I a web developer? No, you're full stack, but I feel like OVA deployment only really is it's only suitable for like enterprise. And that's fine. Like it has a place. Like I work in a business, like my day job is business to business enterprise software. So yeah. But the way and you know, I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm giving you a little bit of a hard time. I'm just teasing, really. But you almost make it sound like you're going to write a text editor and release it as an OVA. Like, and that's like, I can't stand like the like it doesn't happen so much anymore, but I feel like 5 years ago, I felt like every single app you wanted to download was like a fucking Docker install. And it's like, no, I don't want to do a Docker image. I just want to download. Can't I just download a .msi file? Can I just not download a good old fashioned installer and install it? Anyway, I'm gonna go eat my dinner with my wife. I'm angry. Let me check. We made no progress today. None. I'm not even gonna bother checking this in. All right, boys. So it is Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. As usual, if I might do an ad hoc kind of like unscheduled stream over the weekend if I get bored. If I do not, I will be back Monday, 4 p.m. I like this 4 p.m. schedule. Oh my God, excuse me. Oh, Jesus. 4 p.m. I'll be here Monday. I think, I'll be here at Monday o'clock. Oh my God, Will Tyler. I triggered you. I didn't mean to trigger you, Will. Okay, you are a hardcore back-end developer and writing web servers and assembly. All right, you're sitting there. You're programming ChatGPT with ones and zeros. Like you don't even bother with assembly. You're just going 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 1. Like I get it. I also started an RPG dev for finance apps. I also started as an RPG dev. All right. By RPG, do you mean role-playing game? I also started as a RPG dev. Right? No, RPG. I don't know. Anyway, all right, boys. I'll see you Monday, if not sooner. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.